What's going on, guys? This is John out here for Sports in the D. It is August 22nd, 2017. Just want to test this XSplit streaming and see if I can upload to Facebook, YouTube, and all of that. Want to talk about the big story that happened today in the NBA, and maybe a big story that's going to happen on the NBA 2K18 front lines. Talking about that of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics, the big trade that went down that sent Kyrie Irving to Boston in exchange for Isaiah Thomas, Jae Crowder, Ante, and that Nets pick this year, which is probably going to be a top 3 at worst to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Facebook.com/TrueBeautyGunslinger, Twitter @JohnReinott. Right from the top, I'm going to ask you guys, who do you think, which team benefits the most from this trade? Who benefits the most from this trade? Let's break it down a little bit pretty quickly here. Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, that toxic situation that was going on over there, the shirtless workout videos from LeBron, the trolling from Kyrie Irving, all that stuff is finally going to stop. But is it going to make the Cleveland Cavaliers better? I know you can say this a few years ago before LeBron joined the Cleveland Cavaliers that Kyrie Irving was still a young pup out of Duke. Only played a handful of games for the Blue Devils before being that surefire #1 pick. When he got to Cleveland, dude put up a ton of points. But the Cavaliers were not just mediocre, they were awful. And that was with Kyrie Irving on the team. And look, I understand that was a young man over there. And that was before LeBron James came over there to bring them to back-to-back finals. And for Kyrie, long before, to hit that shot in Steph Curry's face and seal the fate for the Golden State Warriors for them to win a title. Ever since now with Durant, the Warriors came back and won it. But it's something to think about, because for Kyrie Irving, it seems like he's grown a lot. Maybe it's just because of LeBron James, but he gets a chance to be the man. And you think about it, a month ago, John Wall had reached out to Kyrie Irving after signing that deal in Washington saying, if you wanted to be the man, why didn't you come here? I had a chance to be the man the whole time while I was in Washington. Trust me, if I was in your shoes, I'd much rather be there, because you've had 2 straight trips to the finals and you already have a trophy in the back pocket. So that's something to think about. The Boston Celtics, they do have Kyrie Irving for 2 years under their control. And that's pretty good. But to me, it looks a lot different when you trade away your starting backcourt, essentially, because Isaiah Thomas going to Cleveland, and Avery Bradley, about a month ago, was already dealt for Marcus Morris to the Detroit Pistons. So your starting backcourt's gone. So there's going to be a little bit of maneuverability there, and a lot of housekeeping and trying to get that chemistry back to start the season. So that can't be easy. And Jae Crowder, well, I know he's not the world beater. He is a guy that can get you some decent points and play you some decent defense. I mean, he's a serviceable NBA player at small forward, power forward. So they're going to lose him a little bit. Ante, I'm not quite sure. That's the backup center that would probably be playing for Horford or Brown or Tatum or wherever they decide to play those guys. But to me, if you had Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Brown or Tatum, and then Horford and Jae Crowder, that lineup probably looks a lot better now, because also think about it then, you still have a top 3 pick at worst. And what's that going to end up doing for you? I know for the Boston Celtics, they haven't been able to get a superstar player in return of already having pretty much 4 of these picks and essentially still making money off of the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett deal. I know not everything has gone the way that they wanted it to, but that is a team in the Boston Celtics that probably could have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals at worst, and possibly contend in the NBA Finals. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to beat the Golden State Warriors, but they were on the track upward. And now, with these moves, I'm not quite sure if they're stronger than they were before, if they were to start the season without making those moves. Granted, they did get Gordon Hayward, so they did have to move Avery Bradley and things like that in order to make room. But I'm not quite sure if they're as good as they were last year. Now, again, for the Cavs, as we'd said it, some of that toxicity will go away. And now you're going to get Isaiah Thomas and Crowder and Ante and a top 3 pick at worst from the Brooklyn Nets pick. It's probably going to be the number 1 pick, depending on where the lottery balls fall. Essentially, you thought about it with Kyrie Irving because he had openly said he doesn't want to play for Cleveland anymore. They're going to have to move him. So they ended up moving him. And quite honestly, they did get more from the Boston Celtics than what the Indiana Pacers got for Victor Oladipo in exchange for Paul George going to the Thunder. So it's a little bit better of a deal, but at the same time, it's going to be a transition period also for the Cavaliers. But it's something that they'll probably be able to easily fix, having more movable and usable pieces there in return and also getting the pick. But you also wonder if that pick is going to be protection because LeBron James is probably going to leave. There was rumors for him going to LA. There was rumors for LA already getting involved in the tampering and possibly losing some picks because of what they're already trying to do with Paul George, not giving the Thunder an opportunity to have him stay even before the season starts. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But it's a lot of interesting things because maybe that top 3 pick at worst probably is just going to be room service just in case LeBron leaves. They'll have to try to use that, and they're not going to be able to replace LeBron James. Everybody knows that you can't replace him because instantly whatever team he goes on is a title contender, but that can help them get something good. But again, this is the Cleveland Cavaliers that we're talking about, and making acquisitions out of your draft picks and getting them turned into superstars wasn't something that they've been very good at on a whole. Because you still think about, they got lucky with Kyrie Irving, but what the hell happened to the number 1 pick a few years ago in Anthony Bennett? Tristan Thompson, yeah, he's serviceable now, but you're not quite sure if Cleveland is able to make that work. But they are able to get out of that situation with Kyrie Irving. Personally, like a lot of us in the NBA realm, would have liked to have seen Kyrie or Chris Paul go to the San Antonio Spurs, but what's done is done. Kyrie Irving is going to Boston, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are getting Isaiah Thomas, they are getting Jae Crowder, they're getting Ante, and the Brooklyn Nets number 1 pick after the season is over. So what do you guys think of that deal? Facebook.com/TBUGunslinger, Twitter @JohnReinott. And don't forget, with NBA 2K getting released in a few weeks and the Prelude coming up in a couple of short weeks, your cover athlete for NBA 2K18 is Kyrie Irving. He's going to look pretty stupid with a Cavs uniform on, so they're going to have to get right to it and get him in a Boston uni. And we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how updated the rosters are going to be, because people are going to be expecting that day 1 patch with Kyrie on the Celtics. This is John Ott signing off for a Sports Day in the D Short. It is August 22nd of 2017. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see if this video can be uploaded to Facebook and YouTube. And if all this stuff works good, it's probably how I'm going to be able to get videos up on Facebook and YouTube now for the radio show as well, because I want to try to double dip and then also get this audio recording here, also get that uploaded how I normally do. Because now I'm out of work, trying to apply for some apps and things like that, so we're seeing how that goes. But let's get some of this stuff going, and let's get NBA League Pass going when the season's going to kick off pretty soon. We'll talk to you soon. John out here. Peace out.